Now we will study about phloem. Phloem, it helps in transport of food. We know that plants, they can make their food with the help of carbon dioxide and water, but this they can do only in presence of sunlight and chlorophyll. And leaves are the parts where this function takes place, and this function is called as photosynthesis. लेकिन ये जो फूड फोटोसिंथेसिस के द्वारा लीव्स में बनता है, ये सिर्फ लीव्स को तो नहीं चाहिए होता है, इट इज रिक्वायर्ड बाय अदर पार्ट्स ऑफ द प्लांट ऑल्सो. सिमिलरली कई बार हम देखते हैं कि प्लांट्स जो है ये फूड को स्टोर करते हैं. सम प्लांट्स दे स्टोर फूड इन देयर रूट्स, जैसे टर्निप है, कैरेट है. वेयर एज सम प्लांट्स दे स्टोर देयर फूड इन स्टेम, जैसे शुगर केन है. Some plants they store their food in fruits. So the food is to be transported from the source, that is the leaf, to the part where the food is to be stored. That part where the food is to be stored is called as sink. So the function of phloem is to transport food from source to sink. This movement of food from source to sink is called as translocation. So in other words, we can say that function of phloem is to translocate food from source to sink. Phloem is a complex tissue. It consists of 4 types of cells. Just like xylem, phloem also has 4 types of cells. These are phloem vessels, companion cells, phloem fibers and phloem parenchyma. So in this diagram, these are the phloem vessels, these are the companion cells. Phloem fibers are sclerenchymatous fibers which are attached with the phloem, and these cells are phloem parenchyma. Phloem vessels are also called as sieve tubes because they have perforated sieve plates at their ends. In xylem we have studied that xylem, they are made up of cells joined end to end, but in that case this wall which is separating the cells, that is dissolved. Whereas in phloem, these walls, they have plate like structures which are called as sieve plates. These sieve plates, they have small holes in them, because of which the material can pass from one cell to other cell. These plate-like structures, they are called as the sieve plates, and because of these sieve plates, phloem vessels are called as sieve tubes. So they are just like xylem tubes, but in xylem tubes these sieve plates are not present. The second type of cells which are present, they are called as the companion cells. These are the cells which are thin walled. So their wall is very thin, they are living cells and they have tapering ends. So they are pointed at the ends, attached with the sieve tube, and they are called as companion cells. So in this figure you can see that this was the phloem vessel and these are the cells which are attached to them. So these cells, they are called as the companion cells. They help and support sieve tubes in loading and unloading of food. As we have just studied that the function of phloem is to transport food. These companion cells, they help in loading, that means putting the food into the phloem vessel, and similarly when the food is to be unloaded at the sink, then also these companion cells, they help in unloading the food from phloem vessels to the part where the food is to be stored. Phloem fibers are thick walled long fibers. These are the cells just like the xylem fibers which are attached to xylem. There are phloem fibers which are attached to the phloem. The function of phloem fibers is just similar to the xylem fibers. They also provide strength and support to the plant. As in xylem, there was xylem parenchyma. Similarly, in phloem, there is phloem parenchyma. These are thin-walled living cells associated with the phloem. They are called as the phloem parenchyma. So, these cells, these are the phloem parenchyma cells. They have a large nucleus, they are full of cytoplasm, and they help in storage of food, and they also help in formation of new cells. So if we compare these all four different types of phloem cells, then we can see phloem has phloem vessel or sieve tube cells which are non-living, whereas companion cells, they are living, fibers are non-living, and parenchyma are living cells. So here we see that companion cell and parenchyma cells, they both are living cells. Whereas if you compare the shape, vessels, they are long tube-like separated by the sieve plates, whereas companion cells, they are long and with the tapering ends, whereas fibers, they are long fiber like, and parenchymatous cells, as we know, they are rounded in shape. In case of sieve tubes, the cell wall is perforated because the middle wall, it is having the sieve plate which is perforated. In companion cells, it is thin walled. Fibers, they are sclerenchymatous cells, so they have thick wall, and parenchyma also has thin wall. The function of sieve tubes is it moves food to the place of storage. So here the food may be moving upward or food may be moving downward. Function of companion cells is that they support sieve tubes. Function of fibers is that they provide strength, and parenchyma, it has a function of storage of food and formation of new cells by diffusion.